Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox, and I am coming to you today with a review for Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 9, Episode 11. So let's get to it, shall we? Alright, you guys, the show opens up with Kenya and Phaedra on their way to the camp that Phaedra has arranged for the children of Flint. And I just have to say that I loved this whole first half of the show. I thought that it was so nice to see Phaedra and Kenya in actual interaction where it felt like they were having a good time and, something that we was able to believe, okay? Once they got to the camp, they tried to make it look like it was a road trip, calling themselves Thelma and Louise. I was like, y'all know y'all drove from the damn hotel over to the damn camp. But once they got there and once Kenya got, acquainted with the campgrounds and where she would be sleeping, I still don't believe either of them slept there. But, it doesn't really matter. The fact that they were there, I thought was just really, really cool. You could tell that the children were really happy to see them. I think they were there 3 or 4 days? Day 2 at the camp, Kenya was with the girls and just telling them her story about how she won Miss USA and how people doubted her because of her dark skin. And you could tell that the girls were enjoying it and just liking to look at her. One of the girls said that she's her idol. I thought that was just really, really sweet, y'all. I was just like, oh, okay. Y'all know, look, it's that time of the month, child. Too much information, but it's about to happen any day now. And I swear, something about it was just making me feel really good. Even on the 3rd day, they had like a program where the kids were able to get up on stage and do whatever it was that they were doing. Some of the boys were telling their stories, and it was really tragic stories. Somebody is shot in the head 3 times, and another kid hadn't had their parents around. These children all had been poisoned by one way or another from the Flint water, the water crisis. So, Phaedra was just happy that she was able to provide this type of, just something for the kids to get away and have a good time. And I was just overcome with the whole thing, y'all. And I was just like, this is really, really good. The last night, they had like a bonfire or a campfire. The kids were just really happy and crying and saying that, they appreciated them being there. And I was just like, this is so nice. You know why? Because I believed it. It wasn't one of these bootleg ass things that a lot of the reality shows will do. Just be some shit thrown together and you just be like, now, ain't nobody at that damn place. Okay, you could tell that the kids were there and, for at least 4 days that they were able to forget about whatever the issues that were going on in their life and that they was just there to enjoy themselves. And it was even nice to see Kenya and Phaedra again at the end, just kind of reminiscing and saying how, it kind of reminded them of what's important. I actually was touched when Kenya said she got her friend back in Phaedra. You guys, I know y'all probably just like, Roxanne, girl, don't be sitting up here believing the bullshit. But that shit with Phaedra and Kenya was so tiring because you guys all remember them few seasons where Real Housewives of Atlanta just took a really ugly turn. And I think we were all just kind of exhausted from that. This whole season has been cool for me because I feel like even though there's been some shade and there's been some arguments and everything, I just feel like it hasn't been nothing where I just be like, Lord, I can't take it. Okay, I've been able to get along with my, all of my Kenya stands out there. And, we haven't had any problems. So I like when the show has, an appropriate amount of shade, but when the girls also can have a good time and, people can still have their attitudes and everything, but when it starts to get to a point where it's just a whole bunch of hatred, that's when I get tired. So I enjoyed it. I know it might just be for this little bit of time. We're going to see how long Kenya and Phaedra's friendship lasts. Now, a few little side stories. First, Sheree. Okay, she and Bob, they go to some, it looks like he rented out a restaurant or some kind of place for the night, just so that he could try to sexy dance for Sheree. They get to reminiscing about their relationship, the good times, the not so great times of when they was in Spain, for example, and they got kicked out because he was flirting with some bitch. Sheree told him about himself and he commenced to throw in some damn wine on her. I was just like, well, we can believe that because we remember when he did that to her that first or second season when they was really bad in their divorce. So yeah, they got to fighting, I guess, at the airport, and they was like, bitch, y'all ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here. So they're at this place, and Bob gets up there, you know, and he's silly, and he's dancing on the stage for her, and, you know, she just as tickled as can be. She said that the reason that she was first attracted to Bob was because of her, and I said, money? And she said, no, not money. She said, because of his charm. And I was just like, okay, Sheree. It might be a combination of two. I can tell that Bob probably was quite charming back in the day. He seems like he's a good enough guy. You know, once you get out of the whole hoopla of being this football star and having all this money and a lot of women wanting you and everything. I mean, once we get past all that shit and we getting old now, motherfuckers fat, shit don't work the same way that it used to when we was younger. We start to see what's important in relationships. Yes, the outside definitely does matter, but it's more about what is in the inside, bitch. You gonna be with this person or not? Are they going to be a good partner for you? Nobody wants to die alone. If you can be with somebody that you can be friends with, somebody that you can trust, somebody that makes you laugh, somebody that you can have a good time with or can be silent with and it don't be no issue, that's kind of all we look for as we get older. I'm telling my young people, my young rock stars out there, as you get older, you will find that your priorities change. And I didn't even think that that would happen for me, but it has. She says that, you know, she's willing to give him another chance because when they are talking after he finishes his little sexy dance for her, you know, he just tells her he appreciates her, and you know, a lot of things that we as women want to hear. It might be bullshit, you might mean it, but sometimes we just need to hear it. And I guess that's all that Sheree needs at this point. So she says she's willing to give him another chance. Again, I know y'all gonna tell me, Roxanne, that shit is just for TV. Can y'all just let me live? Let me live in the fantasy world of when love wins, love conquers all. Y'all know Rocky love. Now, Portia, she and her man, they go to lunch. Okay, they miss each other because he's been up in D.C. and he's been working and she's been working hard down in Atlanta. And they haven't just had any time to spend any together time. So this is the time that they can do that. When Todd sit on down with Portia, he tells her how his job had a problem with her social media or their social media together. And I guess these people are conservatives, probably Republicans. He said maybe even Trump supporters. And the fact that she posted about Democrats, even I was just like, what does what she do have to do with him? But I mean, I guess that's how it goes, politics and all that. What it all boils down to is the people told him he needed to make a choice. Okay, either you gonna be with Portia or you gonna work here. So, you know, Todd, because he looked like he just having himself a good ass time, okay? He tell him, well then fuck this job. All right, I'm going down to Atlanta with my girl and I'll stay there, except Portia was just like, what? You chose me over the job? Yeah, I don't know if that is a good ass idea. I mean, really, when you think about it, we trying to get this thing going here. You act like you want to be in a family situation. I ain't even really want no family. I just wanted a baby. I'm looking for a house. I'm gonna move into my own house with my baby and that's it. But you talking about family and everything, but then you quitting your job. Like, how the fuck you think you gonna take care of me? And I was just like, girl, I'm wondering the same thing, because we could look at Portia and tell that Portia requires a whole lot more than a motherfucker on unemployment. She was just like, nobody told you to do that. You know, Todd, he all smiling and shit. She was like, what is so funny? You act like everything is so funny. He was just like, I love the passion. This is not passion. I'm being serious, Todd. She don't like this shit. I require a man with ends, okay? Preferably an endless amount. If not endless, then a whole lot more than what you act like you gonna have in these next couple of, you know, weeks to months to years. So I don't know how this gonna work out. Later on, we see Portia. She in bed, child. She done fainted again. I said, listen, now this fainting spell or whatever it is that Portia have, they need to get a handle on that. The doctor said that the blood is not going up to my brain. Y'all know the jokes write themselves, right? But I ain't gonna play around with it. If this is a health issue and if it's serious, I mean, to me, it's not normal to go around fainting. Seems like that would be a whole lot of a larger issue that you might be not aware of, or you know, it just seemed like that ain't right. Why you just passing out everywhere, okay? So Phaedra calls a check on her and then tells her that she's going to have this dinner, for all the girls to get together once, Portia gets herself together, and Portia says fine. Now, she's there with Shamia. There's a knock at the door. It's Todd. And Todd comes in. And we get a totally different Portia these days. All that giggling and tee-hee-hee and ha-ha-ha and having a good time and flirting and all of that with Todd. Them days is over, baby. What a difference a paycheck makes, right? She is immediately annoyed with him. He tried to push up on her the other night, was poking. Y'all know about that 3 a.m. poke, child. And she wasn't with it. Said she tired. She tired. Shit, she got to go to work in the morning, okay? You the only broke nigga around here, ain't got a job to go to in the morning, can lay around all day, fuck all night. No, not me. I got to go to work in the morning, okay? So I'm sorry I can't, so. Todd is complaining that, they don't spend enough time together. He just wants her time. And she was just like, look, I can't be worried about a man that ain't got shit else to do but worry about what I'm doing. You need to be busy just like me. And if you're not, this shit is not going to work. Todd's just like, I just want your time. I just want your time. Like, what we got to do? You got to get a job. That's all you got to do. You got to get a job. Now, Candy is at the house with her girl Carmen. Cynthia calls. I guess Cynthia's gonna be staying in this damn guest house. Well, at least that's what I thought she was gonna be doing, when Candy was just like, I don't really know how it is that Cynthia is staying at my house. So at first I was just like, what's the big deal? You got this guest house. I mean, Cynthia is just one person, and if a person is staying in your guest house, and I mean, even if they was messy, which I don't think Cynthia would be, I mean, all you gotta do is send a cleaning crew there, they ain't gonna be in your personal space. But then I realized that no, Cynthia's actually staying in the guest room in her own main home. But still, I don't see why that would be a big deal. Like I said, Cynthia don't look like she don't look like she that much work. It ain't like it's Cynthia and Noelle, but I guess people just don't want they personal space invaded. I guess I can understand. Cynthia coming to unpacking her car. She got a whole bunch of shit, okay, and she even got cereal. Candy was just like, bitch, how long you think you gonna stay? Okay, and she was just like, I just got everything, trying to make it feel comfortable for me. Got a picture of her and Noelle and all that. Candy's just looking like, The next morning, Cynthia's up and, Candy's down in her kitchen, okay, and Cynthia is pouring her cereal. Candy was like, well, you know that we do have cereal. You did not have to bring cereal. And Cynthia was just like, well, bitch, you was so funny acting when I got here. A nigga had to bring her toilet tissue, her cereal, her washcloth. Okay, you know how it is when you don't be wanting to be no extra imposition on anybody. You be bringing all your shit, because the bitch, every time you asking for something, they just looking at you like, it's in the cabinet. Bitch, what the fuck you so fucking mad about? God damn, I'm trying to act. I ain't trying to be all up in here either. Shit. While they sitting there talking, Cynthia gets a call from her real estate agent, and they let her know that the sale did go through. Did it say for $950,000? I think that's what it said. Y'all, I'm still side-eyeing that. Because how is it an appraiser comes under 600,000, comes at 600,000, and then you still set a house for 950,000? Like, something is strange with that, y'all. But I mean, I guess $300,000 ain't nothing to sneeze at, though, y'all. Hope that house ain't, she don't have no issues with it later on and find out that, she can't sell that shit. But look, if she like it, I love it. The house is beautiful. She looks like she's very happy there. So Phaedra, she is having this dinner for the girls, okay? She wants to thank everybody for their participation in the fundraiser. The money that they received was able to get these kids the 4-day camp that they all stayed at in Flint, okay? So all the girls go, they sit down, and Phaedra tells them thank you, and then she has a bright idea. How about all of us go camping? This is grown woman camping. Candy was just like, camping? Like, where do you want to go? Phaedra's like, I don't know yet. I just thought it would be a good idea. So the girls, at first, they seemed like they ain't really with it, and then they was just like, okay, we can do it. I was like, shit, I can do camping too, as long as it ain't in no tent, bitch. I got to be up off the ground where some damn animals and bugs and shit can't get on me. So, and really, I would prefer to be in a cabin, really fucking around with them tents and shit. So, anyway, they get past that. But Kenya asked the question, well, if we all do go camping, Portia, I think we all deserve to know that, can your childish ass get up out there and not want to get crunk on everybody when we get there? And I was just like, Lord, here we go. Actually, she didn't say it quite like that. She was just like, well, Portia, where are you on your anger management? Because Phaedra told us told me personally that you was in anger management, and the reason why you had that event that we went to at the beginning of the season was because you wanted to tell us about your progress. Portia was just like, is that what I said? Phaedra was just like, well, I mean, I told him that, you know, you were working on yourself, you were in a good space. Kenya was like, no, she definitely told me that you was in anger management. I mean, is it a secret? Do you not want us to know? Well, I am in anger management, but I am in it for me and not to be changing myself for any of you. From her answer, that might have been okay, but you can tell that Portia was already defensive, and I could understand both sides. Okay, now we done been through a couple of events where Portia has kind of gotten into some fights, but see, what the problem is what nobody else is really trying to point out is alcohol is a problem for when these girls get together and it turns into something else. Portia loses control, and then we can't ignore that there are certain things that triggers Portia. I mean, we can see it on the TV. It's not a figment of our imagination. Now, I know a lot of you guys is going to tell me that, you know, she's a grown woman, she needs to know how to control herself. Okay, yes, fine. But we still know what the trigger is, so if you know what it is, why the fuck you keep doing it? I'm not saying people need to be lightfoot, you know, stepping around Portia and her emotions and the way she might be, but I also just wish that people could just be like, okay, she fixing to go there, like let's draw back and let's change gears here. And then the fact that Kenya is asking her these things, we know that Portia is immediately defensive whenever it comes to Kenya. Kenya shouldn't have been the one. So that's when Candy jumps in and was just like, well, okay, you need to ask the question. Let me ask the question. How is your anger management going? That still doesn't help because Candy and Portia are not really in the best of places either. Even though I think that Candy wasn't trying to be getting shit started at this point. Again, Portia just immediately, the defensive wall is up. And it's just, it's too bad because I also need Portia to realize that these girls, you allow them to control your emotions. You allow it. You have got to figure out a way to recognize immediately that you are about to go there. I don't know what it's going to take for her to do it, but she got to figure something out. So Portia was just like, well, you know, really, I feel like if you guys was that concerned about what was going on in my life, you know, you wouldn't wait for us to get here. Okay. You would have called me and found out, you know, how I was doing with anger management. So for Kenya to ask me how it is, and then for Candy to piggyback on it, you know, and Candy was just like, piggyback? Wait a minute, don't piggyback me. We was talking about the topic, I'ma ask the questions, so don't hit me with the motherfucking piggyback. Portia was just like, bitch, who you talking to? Like, Candy, really, you ain't got to be cursing at me all the time like that, okay? Piggyback. Candy was getting tired of the whole piggyback conversation, so she was just like, why don't you just piggyback your ass on? Portia was just like, because Candy's whole thing is, bitch, you the one that's talking crazy to me. I'm just asking the questions, but like I said, Portia is already, it just gets bad, okay? All of a sudden, Portia jump up, Candy jump up, I said, oh shit. Candy is just like, let me get me some water. She walks away, Portia's like, she leaving, okay? Why y'all don't let this girl just leave? The fact that everybody, you know how it is when you about to fight, well, not me, because y'all know I don't fight, but you've seen people get way more agitated when you try to stop them from going somewhere. When they just want to leave a fucking situation, let them go. It definitely don't help to have everybody coming back. Portia, wait a minute, Portia! Especially Kenya. When Kenya is already needs to know that she's a person, but she does this on purpose because this is just another opportunity to make Portia look out of control. But again, like I said, Portia has got to, that child still ain't got, she ain't got it. And at this point, as much as Kenya might work your nerves, girl, she just really has to get that under control. Anyway, they stop her, you know, she's telling Kenya to get out of her face, and, you know, Kenya was just like, why? You know, Sheree was just like, because you provoke people. And then Kenya was just like, oh, so it's about me now. It's me. Yes, it is you, too. People react to an action. Folks don't just act a fucking fool just because they want to, okay? So it has to be something for you to be doing for me to be acting this way, okay? Kenya never sees it that way. So that's when Sheree and Kenya get into it, okay? And Sheree starts talking about her and that's why Matt is the way he is, because she provokes him. And then Kenya turns around and says, well, you've been in domestic abuse relationships too. And so then we get totally off, because what does that have to do with whatever the fuck we talking about here? Nothing. It kind of goes off from there. You know, they start arguing. I'm just like, how the fuck long was they standing out there, bitch? It got dark and everything, okay? Kenya out there still talking about Sheree, all right, even when she says to get on her level, and then that damn Kenya do the duck walk. It's crazy. cracking up. Ooh, can't nobody say that Kenya ain't fucking entertaining. Anyway, while they still out there fucking talking, I guess they probably was waiting to see if Portia was gonna come back in real life. Portia does come back. But by this time, Candy over it, Cynthia over it, and Kenya's over it. So they leave. Phaedra, Sheree, of course, because Sheree always wants to be in the middle of the mix, and Portia sit down. And Portia was just like, I need to make it clear. I did not ever feel like I was going to tell Kenya none of my fucking business about what's going on with me with anger management, okay? That will never happen in life. I don't want you to get to trusting her. I know y'all done went off to Detroit and was with the babies and everything, and now all of a sudden you ace boon coons, but that bitch is fake. You need to watch your back. Don't even go there with her. These are the type of situations that never lets relationships move forwards on these shows, okay? It's like, you know, people feel like because you mad at somebody that everybody can't be their friend. I mean, I guess I can understand Portia trying to give her the warning, but at the end of the day, it's still going to be up to Phaedra to make the decision on whether or not she want to let bygones be bygones, move on with Kenya. You can be friends with somebody and still just kind of keep your fucking eye on them. We have all kind of friends that we can do certain things with. I can trust some of my friends with my life, and other friends, I just know that we can go out and have a good time, but bitch, I ain't telling you nothing because your mouth is fucking big, okay? So we got all of these friends. We need to know what they good for, and that's probably how Phaedra's gonna have to look at this situation. But of course, the way these girls all have so much issue with each other, they expect these hard lines to be drawn, and that you know, if I'm not your friend, and they don't want their friend to be friends with you too. So it's just y'all again. So all that progress we get made at the beginning with Kenya and Phaedra, like I said, we're gonna see how far that goes, if it lasts. But for right now, we know that all of the progress where at least Kenya and Portia was able to tolerate each other back down the drain. Alright, you guys, that is it. Child, I got these blue spaces in the bottom of my mouth, and it is bothering me, and it's very hard to talk. So if I was fucking up words and everything, y'all just give a bitch a pass today. Okay, I gotta have these in for 2 weeks, then I get my bottom braces. That's it, though, you guys. Make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm itsrox. The channel is for itsrox, and everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. Alright. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. I plan on doing the same. Till next time, Roxstars. Bye.